Hi, I'm Bob Green. What is my disposition to teach? How well am I suited to work as a professional educator? I have completed a short self-assessment survey and want to take just a few minutes to share the results with you. But before I do that, I will tell you a little bit about my teaching background. I worked at a high school for 3 years in Southern California as a substitute teacher. It was a good experience, and I learned a lot from my students and fellow teachers. In 2011, I flew to Saudi Arabia and worked for 5 years as an EFL educator for young men between the ages of 18 and 24. During that time, I also tutored for the royal family and other affluent Saudi VIPs. The Disposition to Teach is a Grand Canyon University survey consisting of 10 categories. After reviewing the results of the survey, I have concluded that the ability to exercise sound judgment and ethical behavior is my strongest disposition. I rated this as my #1 disposition because it is general and applies to the many different facets of teaching. I learned this while working in one of the lower socioeconomic secondary schools in Southern California, and then honed these skills teaching in Saudi Arabia. As an expat, I was under constant scrutiny by my superiors and other VIPs at the military school I worked for. It was vital I learned about the Muslim culture so that I wouldn't violate any of their norms or traditions. One example is in the Arab culture. You should never ask about a student's family, especially a female member. After living for 5 years in Riyadh, I grew to understand, know, and appreciate their culture. There were 5 other dispositions where I rated myself as strongly agree. The next disposition I would like to discuss is being committed to teaching and learning. My experience has been that teachers who haven't are not happy and will probably not make education their lifelong career. Long-term commitment is required in this profession because teaching is a process, not an event. Education is a dynamic business with constant change. Having passed my 60th birthday, there are many countries where I cannot get a visa, so I can't work there because of my age. This had a negative effect on my attitude until I realized that this won't happen in America. I am a lifelong learner. I enjoy studying and learning. The field of education is dynamic and constantly changing. The survey helped me to see the areas where I still need to work as a better educator. There were 4 areas that need improvement. I was pleased to see that none of the dispositions in the survey were rated as undecided, disagree, or strongly disagree. I see this as an indication of being in a career field that I am well suited for. The area that I need to work hardest is in believing that all students can learn, and I should set and support realistic expectations for student success. It's not that I don't believe all students can learn, but I do not believe all students can learn with the system currently in place in America. I don't believe that teachers have enough autonomy to structure classes to include different learning modalities. This puts some students at risk, simply because their learning style is different. Realistic expectations for successful learning need to be different for students with different styles. I think that autonomy and the freedom to teach your way is very important. In the same breath, I also want to say that teachers have the responsibility to create a safe, inviting classroom that gives students the best opportunity for success. We must continually seek new and better strategies to provide an effective learning environment for all our students. When I think about a professional educator and how they look and act, there is one educator who comes to mind immediately. He was the first professor I had at the University of Redlands in California. It was my very first education class, and this man exuded everything you could imagine when you think of a professional educator. He was well dressed and well groomed, and he looked the part. When he walked in the class, you knew this person was a professional before he spoke. He was soft-spoken, and as he taught his craft, he was always encouraging and positive. He was strict but fair. This professor had been in education his entire career and had worked as a teacher, an administrator, a principal, and then back again as a teacher at the graduate university level. Anytime I think about what I can do to become a better teacher, I think of this man. This exercise has provided insight for me and will serve as a tool for becoming a more effective educator. This is my disposition for teaching. Thank you.